Lionel Messi has been one of football's most consistent ever players, and he's arguably the greatest when it comes to longevity at the very highest level, having won the Ballon d'Or in 3 different decades. But even though he's more or less always been the very best for the last 15 years, there were some moments in his career during which he was even scarier than usual. The question is, when was he at his very scariest? Was it in 2012? Or was it in 2015? Or maybe even in 2019? Well, in this video that's what we're going to find out, so make sure to stay tuned. The first thing we have to ask ourselves is, in what different years was Messi in his prime? Well, even that is quite subjective, but most people will agree that in the 2010-2011, the 2011-2012, the 2014-2015, and the 2018-2019 season, Lionel Messi was at his very best. So, let's take a deeper look into all of them to find out when Messi was truly in his prime. We start with the 2010-2011 season. Barcelona have probably never been better than they were now, and Messi was their talisman and most clutch player, scoring 53 goals and delivering 27 assists in 55 games. Obviously, those are ridiculous stats. Messi was basically averaging 1 goal per game, while also having more or less 1 assist every 2 games. In Guardiola's system back then, he played as a false 9. He was the one who made Barcelona dominate the midfield as well as their main goal-scoring output. He was basically a creative 10 and a striker at the same time. He was unpressable if he had the ball in midfield. He could read the game perfectly, play any inch-perfect pass to put Pedro or David Villa in a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, while also being able to shoot from outside of the box, dribbling his way through whole defenses and tapping in crosses. He was basically the perfect player, and what made him really scary is that he turned up for Barcelona especially when it mattered most. Against Real Madrid in La Liga, in that famous 5-0 victory, he was Barcelona's main creator and Real Madrid's defense was completely at his mercy. Against Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-final first leg at the Bernabeu, it was a closely contested game, but he made a difference with 2 goals, one being an all-time legendary goal of his, and the kind of goal that only he could score. And in the Champions League final against Man United, he was, again, Barca's man of the match and scored the crucial 2-1 that turned the tide in Barcelona's favor. Some other versions of him might have been as impressive purely based on qualities and stats, but when it comes to turning up in the big games, Messi has probably never been more of a big game player than in the 2010-2011 season. Let's take a look at the 2011-2012 season then. This was Guardiola's last year as a Barcelona coach, with Messi scoring 73 goals and delivering 32 assists in 60 games. Yeah, those stats won't be broken all too soon. Nobody's ever scored that many goals in one season, yet Messi managed to deliver that many assists as well. When it comes to goal scoring, Messi has never reached a higher level than he did back then. Apart from that though, his dribbling was still as good as 1 year ago, his playmaking was still world class, his shooting was still just as great, he was just the most complete attacker this world has ever seen. Was he as good as 1 year before though in those big games? Well, in all of the different Clásicos that were played that season, he was always crucial for Barcelona. But in the Champions League, he notoriously missed a penalty against Chelsea in the return leg at the Camp Nou in the semi-finals, which would turn out to be fatal for Barcelona. Does that mean he didn't play well though? He was still Barcelona's focal point in attack, and Barcelona created chances. Luck was also not in their favor that day. Compared to 1 year ago though, you could argue that Messi was less good at having exceptional games at exceptional moments. But that doesn't mean that he choked for Barcelona in that Chelsea game. Overall, this version of Messi is a strong contender for being the best Messi of all time. In the 2014-2015 season, Barcelona would go on to win anything they could win, with one of the scariest front lines the world has ever seen. Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez and Neymar. Messi that season scored 58 goals and delivered 31 assists in 57 games. Again, just how? This time, Messi was mainly Barcelona's creative right winger. He played at right, but would often drop into the midfield or into the center to make the play. He was Barcelona's main playmaker, could distribute passes perfectly, dribble past any defender, yet again he still managed to score more goals than the amount of games he played in. Compared to the player he was in 2011, he was probably a little less fast, but when it came to free kicks and playmaking he had probably improved a little bit now. And in the big games he was crucial that season. In the Champions League campaign against the likes of Man City, Bayern Munich and Juventus, he put in man of the match performances, and without him it's probable that Barcelona wouldn't have won the Champions League that year. In this Barcelona team though, under Luis Enrique, he might have been less pivotal than in Guardiola's Barcelona. In 2011 and 2012 he had the task of coming into midfield and to be the focal point in attack at the same time. Without him, the pillar of attack in the team wasn't there, and there was no other player who could really replicate the amount of importance he had in his team. In 2015, with a frontline that still had Suarez and Neymar, even in Messi's absence, Barcelona's attack was fully functioning and it was the best in the world without Messi as well, honestly. Messi himself might have been the leader of this attack, but he probably wasn't as crucial for the system and the way the team played as he had been under Guardiola. In the 2018-2019 season under Ernesto Valverde, Barcelona's squad wasn't as brilliant anymore as under Guardiola or Luis Enrique, and the Messi dependencia was bigger than ever before. In 50 games, he scored 51 goals and delivered 22 assists. Again, those were Messi-level numbers. The word world class doesn't even do it justice. Messi now, again, played as a right winger who would often drop into midfield to make the play. And when it comes to playmaking, he had never had a more important role for Barcelona yet than in that season. He was Barcelona's main creator, and there was no Iniesta, Xavi or Neymar anymore. Yet, again, 51 goals. Yeah. Also, when it comes to free kicks, Messi has arguably never had a better season than now. Compared to the Messi in 2011, this Messi wasn't as fast, wasn't kinda lightning bolt who would flash his way through defenses anymore, but playmaking wise he was probably a little better. And this Messi had more experience as well and was Barcelona's captain. The Blaugrana have never relied on him more than in that season and the following years. And if it wasn't for that game at Liverpool in the Champions League, he would have basically single-handedly carried Barcelona to a treble. In the biggest of games, like against Liverpool in the first leg, Barcelona wouldn't even dominate that much and they showed not to be untouchable anymore. Yet, with his flashes of brilliance, Messi managed to single-handedly carry Barcelona to victory. He was definitely a big game player. Anyone who says that he didn't turn up in that game at Anfield is basically blind, given the amount of dribbles he succeeded that night and the amount of chances he created. Barcelona didn't even have to score in that game anymore, really. They just needed to keep a clean sheet. This disaster was to blame on the lack of solidity in the midfield and horrible defending, not on the player in attack who created chances that just weren't finished. Messi in 2019 is definitely a contender for being the best Messi as well. So, when was Messi in his prime? When was he at his very best? Well, this question is just extremely hard to answer, given the fact that Messi has played under different managers and played alongside different teammates during his career. So the best way to formulate this question is probably, if you can only choose one version of Messi to have in your team, who do you pick? Well, 2015 and 2019 Messi lose the battle for me, given the fact that they weren't as great anymore as in 2011 and 2012, when it came to being everywhere, dribbling, deciding the game out of nowhere and single-handedly tearing open defenses. Between 2011 and 2012, 2011 actually wins it for me, while most people would probably choose 2012 Messi based on his stats. 2011 Messi is, according to me, the best Messi we've ever seen. This was the epitome of prime Messi. He was everywhere on the pitch, could even win back balls, saw everything, was as fast as lightning with the ball in his feet, was the best dribbler of all Messis, so also of all time, and turned up when it mattered most. Throughout his career, the general evolution that Messi has gone through is that of the chaotic dribbler at right wing to the right winger who dropped into midfield, made the play and scored the goals for his team. In the middle of those two extremes is a Messi who had both that pace and flea-like unstoppable dribbling style and that playmaking and goal-scoring ability, while also being there for his team when it truly mattered. Lionel Messi in 2011 was completely unstoppable, and we will very probably never see a player of that level again. That was it for today's video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and feel free to share your own opinion in the comments down below. Força Barça, Força Messi, and have a good day.